Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Barry Erickson, and I'm Community Engagement Coordinator at Wheaton Public Library. Tonight, we are delighted to bring you this fun presentation on Disney World's 50th anniversary. After spending more than 15 years in the travel industry, Marcela Nelson created stress-free travels to remove the stress of travel planning. From Disney parks to adult-only river cruises, from all-inclusive resorts for family reunions to girls-only weekends, stress-free travels is a smart way to travel. So thank you so much for being with us tonight, Marcela. With that, I'm going to turn the screen over to you.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Once again, my name is Marcela. I'm with Stressfree Travels. I'm so excited to be here today again, and especially because we will be talking about the happiest place on earth, and that is for sure my happy place, which is Walt Disney World, which just turned 50 years last year, and there were a lot of things happening with COVID and things like that. So we're going to talk really quick about the history of it and what's going on there now. First, one of the things that Walt Disney said was ask yourself what you're doing today will get you where you want to go tomorrow. And one of the things that he did was, and he learned after opening Disneyland California, was how restricted he was for the projects that he has in mind. He was a really amazing creator and designer, and he has this imagination. And then, unfortunately, he has so much stuff, and California did not offer the space for him. With the success of Disneyland, a lot of people from different states were asking them, please come to our state, open a park here, because this is how much the commerce and the tourists grow with that. With that in mind, Walt Disney decided to be a little more careful and thinking, okay, if we're gonna go to a place, I want to be able to go a place where I can do what my imagination tells me to do. So, and one of the things they realized that only less than 8% of the tourists that came to Disneyland was from this part of the Mississippi River. So he knew he was to build something on that was on the East Coast. So that's some pictures from Disneyland being built. So as you can see, that's the area of Disneyland, and you can see there's a lot of commercial and houses and stuff around. So the land was already taken, and one of the things that Walt didn't like was the fact of all the commerce that was built around that he had no control over on how will affect the experience of their customers, of the people there, their guests there coming to visit the park. So when he dispatched a group of people to find a place where he has enough land that he can build what he wants. So was him, his brother Roy, flew over Florida, and that's how they found out. They found an area that was big enough for him to build his dream. So as you can see here, this is where Magic Kingdom was built, and in the back there you can see the Contemporary Resort, but you can kind of have idea of how was nothing around and how much land they have available if you're going to compare with California. So that was perfect. So one of the problems that he had was, okay, how can we acquire all this land without people knowing about it? So he hired one of the big law firms at a time from New York, which was one of the creators of the CIA. So who else can keep more secret, right? And then create a bunch of different companies to start acquire all the land that was necessary. So those are one of the names of the company, the companies that they create as a shelf to be able to buy all the land that they need. And then after, when they will be able to acquire most of the lands that they need, they officially had a meeting on November 15th of 1965 to announce with the governor of Florida that Walt Disney was coming to Florida. And one of, after that was official, so Walt create a video which he called, see if I can find here, there we go, the Florida Project, where he explained what was they were creating, what they were building, so that people know what was going on. And the focus of for him of the Disney park was, at the time was only called Disney Park, was the Epcot. For him, Epcot was supposed to be the focus of the whole park, because for him that's where everything will be developing, will be the postcard for Disney. We'll have all new innovations and creations and things like that. And Epcot for spell experiment prototype community of tomorrow. So EPCOT. But unfortunately, after he did this, I believe it's a 40-minute video, 35-minute video, 5 days after that, he was hospitalized. And then a month after that, he passed away on 1966. So unfortunately, he didn't have a chance to see how the transformation of his ideas. So once they everybody, of course, got lost, but Roy decided he was about to retire, but he decided to keep in the project because that was his brother's dream, and that's one of the last wish. He had a meeting with everybody, and he said, "We're gonna keep doing all the plans that Walt had for this park." And one of the good things that allowed them for Florida was that they have all this land, and one of the requirements was they will have access and have the rights to build whatever they want in there, pretty much. There will be, which is one of the things that it's been in the news this past week about. So with the power that was given to them, they were able to drain all the acres that they bought, allow them to. So one of the things that Disney didn't like at Disneyland was the restriction of space. For example, for them to take the trash, they have to go through the guests. They'll see you take the trash, when one of the characters are approaching, they'll be able to see that. So when Walt Disney has this plan page where he can build whatever he wants, one of the things that he want to do is figure out a way of create access for all this land without the guests seeing when they come and going. So he drained Lake Buena Vista, drained them up, took all the sand to create, fake beaches and things like that. And he built a tunnel. I don't know if you can see on the right corner right there, that goes underneath of the whole Magic Kingdom park. That way allows all the characters to pass by, the garbage to pass by, and all the sewer systems, everything. So you don't see none of that once you're going through the park. And one of the things also that was good for them to drain the 7 sea lagoons was that they have a full control of the access to the park. So the parking area, if you can see at the bottom here in the center, that's where it is. So for you to get to Magic Kingdom, for those of you who've been there, knows you have to take all the monorail or you have to take the boat to get to the park, unless you're staying on the resorts, and then it's a different story. But that was one of the good things they'll be able to do with that. So when they're building the park, they also want to build 2 resorts, but Disney company does not run hotels or resorts. So they hire a company to build the hotels and lease to Walt Disney Company, and they will be paying a year for that. But when we're close to the day that they want to open, the things were not ready. So one of the things they did for the contemporary resorts, as you can see those squares, so they will build the whole hotel room on the site and then bring it up and putting there with everything, even the bed already put together. So that's how they built the contemporary resort. So what happened when it was getting closer to the date and they didn't think they will be able to accomplish, Disney bought the rights to the hotel and build that. So we'll be open on time. And in the meantime, while everything will be built, so the first building that they did show everything as will be under construction, was the Walt Disney World Preview Center, which, by the way, they changed to Walt Disney World with the death of Walt, because it's supposed to be just Disney World. But his brother, and in homage for him, he changed to Walt Disney World. So they created the preview center, which you could go there. They have a miniature design of the park, what it looked like, and you will be able to get tickets before it would open. And then, of course, as any Disney, of course, there was a gift shop where you can get anything Disney that you want, as a way to raise money, be able to sell tickets beforehand. So that was the first building ever built on the area before the parks were open. And here you can see a little bit the progress of it. The Contemporary Resort right there, Magic Kingdom in the end. There's another angle a little bit, the construction is a little bit further down. We can still see the Contemporary Resort there. And Epcot, even though it's supposed to be the main thing for Walt, not become as the flag of the park. Magic Kingdom being the flag of the park. And finally, on October 25th, 1971, they were able to have the official opening. They actually opened 2 weeks before. It was not as busy as they thought it would be. And they figured out later on was because a lot of people thought it would be busy, so they didn't go. But the official opening was on October 25th, 1971, 50 plus a couple months, years ago. And unfortunately, after that, a few months after that, Roy passed away. So he was not able to see, and it was actually 5 months and 5 days for 5 years and 5 days for the pass of his brother. He passed away in the same hospital with a heart attack. So he was not able to see the rest of the constructions and everything, the whole development that Walt Disney is today. So 15 years later, here we are celebrating this amazing complex. And one of the things that I love about Disney is that there is a little bit for everybody. It's not just for girls, it's not just for boys, not just for kids. There is always something there. If you just want to go to try the food, if you just want to go for the rides, and there is always something fun going on. And with the 5th anniversary, so as you can see, Mickey and Minnie has a new costume which matched with the castle, which was fully brand new paint. And also the cast members also is all dressed for the new. They have a new show with new characters participating. So one of the things about now, since COVID happened, once they closed for the first time for that long, when they opened, they knew they have to have a little bit control of how many people will be at the park. So they create the theme park reservation system, which means you have to make a reservation for which park you're going to and what day. So that way they know how many people are in the park. That is a way of controlling the crowd level of each park. So for example, this is was I took today. So if you just buy the ticket, that's not enough. You do need to create My Experience account, and you need to make a park reservation. Making a park reservation, there's a lot of health things that you need to check out, that you need to accept requirements, and that's one of the reasons for me to do that. So for example, if I go today and I go online, I buy tickets for 5 days, and I decided that I want to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th, and the 8th. Well, what happened is not all parks will have access to it. So once you click on each day, so in this situation, this one, for example, right here for today, Magic Kingdom is not available. So I'm not, even though I bought the ticket, I'm not gonna be able to go to the park. So one of the things that I tell everybody is Disney is all about uh, planning. It is all about planning. So every time that I talk with people who says, "Oh, I don't like Disney," my first thought is, "Well, is this person crazy?" And then my second, I always ask, like, "Well, how did you go? How did you plan to go?" "Oh no, we decided to just do one park a day," and it's like, well, it's sometimes you don't get to enjoy it as long as you're prepared to know that you're not going to see everything. Gotta know how many times I've been to Magic Kingdom, and I still think there are some parts that I haven't seen yet. Every time that I go, I always discover something different. Uh, so especially for Magic Kingdom, if you're planning to go, always give yourself 2 days. Animal Kingdom you can do one day, Hollywood Studios maybe one day, Magic Kingdom you have to do in 2 days. If you want to do one day, you have to prioritize what you want to do or what you want to see, because it's just a lot of land to cover. Um, the other thing is Disney Magic Bands. They're about to switch now to a different kind of Magic Band. So are they required? They are not required. You can use a card. You can use the app on your phone to get in. Um, so the first time you go in, they scan your ticket. Could be through your Magic Band, could be through your phone, and they scan your fingerprint. If you're not comfortable in doing that, you just have to bring your driver's license. You scan your Magic Band or your card, and you show them your ID every time you go. One of the things that I personally like the Magic Band is because I can add my credit card to that, whatever credit card I want to use. So if I want to buy something, if I want to pay for a meal, everything is in there. And I put a password on it. So even somebody found it, if I lose it, they won't try to use it, they can't because I have a password on it. And it's great because, if I have my family, my daughter, I can have different cards and have different passwords. So if she's using, I know what she's using because it's going to show exactly who bought it, which Magic Band was that. And that way, and then technically, I just have to go to I don't have to bring my wallet to the park, just my Magic Band. Um, so I really, really like it. One of the other things that I like to do too, this is it's a separate service. It's the photo pass. So the photo pass is once you're at the park, you see photographers everywhere. It's so funny because it's not so much now because I just went last month. Because of shortage of people for work, there's not as many, but still there is a lot. And if you buy the photo pass, which I believe is 179 if you purchase beforehand, if you live to purchase, that is a little bit more expensive. And they take pictures, they're all over the park. You see them just like I want to take a picture, and they will take a ton of pictures, as many as you want. And especially for the rides, it's all included. So you pay one fixed price, and you can stay there for 10 days, 20 days, 7 days. All the pictures are included. So you don't have to keep using your phone to take pictures because they will be there to register. And I don't know about you, but every time I go, I take a picture of everybody, and there's no picture of me with my family. So I like to get the photo pass because then we have pictures of us together, nice pictures of us together. And one things that they released this year, one of the things for the 5th anniversary is which we call the capture moment. So what happened was they always have that. They have for a while at Magic Kingdom because a lot of people will propose and they always want to have a photographer to capture the moment. So what happened is Disney just started to expand that to all parks. So you can pay in advance to reserve a day, and then you pay amount for 20 minutes. You're gonna have the photographer. You pick which area of the park you want to go, and you have 20 minutes when they take pictures of your family, whatever. Uh, uh, it's the occasion that you need. So when we went, it took a while to go because we're supposed to go to celebrate my niece's 16th birthday. And because of COVID, we end up celebrating her 18th birthday. Yeah, I know. Thanks, COVID. So when the day before the photo shoot, they call me. It's like, okay, we're gonna meet you, this place, and what you're celebrating. She asked a little bit about everything. So who's coming? How many people? And I explained to her, who was it? That was my niece's birthday, so they made this sign for her, which was a huge surprise. She was so happy about it, 'cause, like, 16 may not be less sweet, but 18 is magical. So that was really, really nice. And it was really great because she found that it's like I have the right spot to take a picture of the because we want to have the tree in the back. It's like, oh, that we don't go to the front. There's another spot where we can take a picture. You're gonna have the tree in the background, and it was great. It was like a separate. There was no people around. It was amazing. Um, so Barry, if you can show there's a quick video that I record her doing the photo session.
Yes, so if you'll turn off your screen share, then I'll be able to screen share the video.
All right, let's go back here. Got it.
Okay. Okay, here it is. Okay, so I'll turn
Great,
off
thank you.
that screen share. And then
I'm
Marcela, you can go ahead
where-
and get your slides back up.
Here we go. All right, you good?
Looks good.
All right. So the other thing that everybody's talking about, it's just it's driving everybody crazy, and I have to tell, it drove me a little crazy too, is the genie. So what happened is after COVID, Disney canceled Fast Pass. So Fast Pass does not exist anymore. So what they did, they create Disney Genie, which is inside of the app, which what it does is helps you kind of tailor your plans when you're going. So, for example, you're going to Hollywood Studios, and then you're gonna answer questions like, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to focus on? What kind of rides do you like? What kind of characters you're interested in? So then, what happens is, it's gonna on the day that you're going, it's gonna pop up and say, okay, the ride that you want to go, this is the best time to get in line. So it's kind of give you a little bit a more tailor, a more personalized plan uh, of what you want to do on that day, and then gives you so they tell okay if you want to go on the sling dog, the best time for you to go is going to be between 10 and 3 p.m. So narrows it down so then you can kind of have an idea of what do you want to do first. um, One of the things that they have now is the Genie Plus. So the Genie Plus, that is a purchase service. So what does it do is you pay extra a day, and that allows you to pick one ride a day. Um, so for those of you that are familiar with the Fast Pass, so what happened was if you're going to Disney, if you're staying on the property 90 days before, you get to pick 3 rides that you can do every single day. Uh, well, they don't have that anymore. So what it is now, you purchase that, and the day that you're going to the specific park, you log in at 7 o'clock in the morning, Florida time, if you are staying on property, and allows you to pick one ride uh, for that day. And then if you're not staying on property, when the park open, you get to do that. So after, if you're staying in the park, you 7 o'clock, you make your selection. For example, the selection that I make is going to be 11 o'clock. Well, the park opens at 9. 2 hours after the park opens, I get to pick another ride too, even if I use that ride or not. 2 hours after the parks open, I can to pick something else too. Uh, so when we went, It was not complicated at all. One of the great things now that I just noticed that I was so surprised, it's how good the Wi-Fi is, especially at the resort. I was have a little concern. So the first day that I was there, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have my phone, I'm gonna have my iPad, I'm gonna use my niece's phone because I want to make sure I have connection because I need to get those rides. And I didn't have to worry about that at all. I was logging through the resort Wi-Fi and I was able to we did all the rides that we want to do, you know. And then what happened is sometimes like I would get 7 o'clock, I would get it, and if it says sold out, I wait 20 minutes and boom, that was the options that we want to do. Uh, so it is not, of course, Disney's have a lot of technical issues now that they didn't have before, and I think a lot has to do with the short of staff. But either way, I personally didn't have any problems at all with the Genie Plus. As I said, I was able to get all the rides that we want to go to. The ones that we didn't know, I knew we have to stay in line, but at least we already prepared for it. And that's what we did. And we had the best time. It was really nice to be back home, to be enjoying the park. Um, so, whatever question you guys have, I'm open for questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Marcela. That's wonderful. So I'll just remind everyone that the Q&A is, you can go ahead and open up your Q&A to enter any questions that you might have. That's available to you. I'm just wondering, Marcela, as you were talking about that new Genie Plus program,
Mhm.
how many rides could you arrange through that over, say, the course of the day? You mentioned one at 7 in the morning and then another one 2 hours later. Does that continue through the day?
Yeah, throughout the day, as many as you can get, and you see like after 3 or 4 p.m. You know, you get whatever you want. Everything else is just got to stay in line, which is, for example, Avatar is my personal favorite. I love them more than anything else. I think that's the best ride. Sorry, people who like Star Wars. No, Avatar is my thing. And and it was saying there was 75 minutes wait. We took us 32 minutes because I counted. I was like, there is no way because I know for 75 minutes what the line has to be. It's like the line is not there. So I know this is going to be short. And then sure enough, it was really, really short. So, and I was ready to be 75 minutes line if I have to. But at least I was aware of that. I knew that was so. And plus, was my third time going on that ride on that day. So it was not as bad. But as I say, it's all about planning. It's all about what you're gonna get. So for Sling Dog, we could not get passes for that because that was not our priority. So we knew we stay. It was an hour and 10 minutes online, and we did, and it totally worth it. Every time that I get online for this and wait for an hour, and I say, sure enough, it was totally, totally worth it. That's also one of my favorites as well.
Okay, it looks like we've got a couple of questions coming in. One person is asking, how far in advance do you recommend making plans for, say, like January 2023? So a ways out from now, and that's like 6, 7, 8 months away. How soon would you start to make reservations and plans for a trip?
I would say as soon as possible, as soon as Disney released them. So as far as I know, they will release the hotels. They haven't released the tickets. So whatever you can guarantee, just because. And one of the things that I also want to said is that there, I'm not the only one who sells Disney, and I think if it's Disney the first time going, you should use a travel agent, somebody that's been has done the Disney course and knows about Disney, because that will save you so much headache because you're not familiar with the park. Magic Kingdom is huge, and that's especially being the first time going is always good to give you, will make you a kind of a plan, a map of where to go, where not to go. And then, if you want to go back again, you have a little bit more familiar with. And they do have that. And everywhere. And I'm sure everybody's neighborhood will have somebody who sells Disney. And believe me, if the person sells Disney because loves Disney, and you don't pay any extra for it, it is the same price as if you book yourself. So if you go to the Disney website, you're gonna pay exactly the same. The only difference, you're gonna have somebody who will help you, guide you through the process of it.
Okay, great. Someone else is asking, you did say that you do have to pay extra for the Disney Genie. Can you give us a sense of how much extra that is? Because the tickets are
Uh,
already kind of pricey.
they are a little bit. So it's for Disney Plus. I do not know. I think it's about $20 a day.
Per
Um,
person, is that correct?
per person, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
and that allows you to do it. So besides that, I almost forgetting to talk about the lightning lane. So you have three things. So it's a little bit complicated, but we'll get there. So you have the genie, which is just this extra um, option that they give you in the app that you don't pay for, that you're able to build, to mark all the things that you like, things that you want to do, and then tells you when you're going, what's the best time to go, how long is the line. It's like a shortcut for things. Instead of you getting an app and look for the ride, it's going to be right up there because you mark that's your priority. And then the second will be the Disney Plus, which allows you to pick a park every day, 7 o'clock in the morning if you're on property, or when the park's open if you're staying off property. And there is the lightning lane. So what it is two rides in each park. You pay extra to ride on those. So those are the high demand rides. For example, at Hollywood Studios will be the Star Wars ride. Uh, at Disney will be at Disney at Magic Kingdom will be the Seven Dwarfs. At Epcot Center will be the Ratatouille ride. So those are rides there have high demand. So for you to do that, you don't need to have the Genie Plus to do that. If you, for example, if you are only concerned about those two rides on the park, everybody else, you don't mind staying in line. So you don't need to get the Disney Plus. You can just wait on the day and then you pay to ride. Again, you have to get early on the app, and then it's gonna tell you how much it is. So which rides depends of the day, and the price changes. So for example, I paid to do $10 to do the Ratatouille ride, and it was $15 to do the Star Wars ride. So it depends of the day and depends, how the demands are.
Okay, all right, thank you. And someone else is asking about reservations to restaurants, and I'm not sure the nature of that question, but like, is that done through the Genie or just through the app, or how do
Through
you make
just through the
reservations?
app. Yeah, through the app. And yeah, if I'm mistaken, it's 30 days before, 60 days before, 60 days before you can start making reservations. Uh, so, and then you see, because once you're in the app, you're gonna try to make it, you can't. It's not gonna allow the day until you're 60 day prior, and then you can make the reservations for that, or any other special event is the same. So we'll see with the next one. Now that we are talking about the the Halloween, Mickey Minnie Not So Scary Halloween that's back. Yay! So those tickets will, we can start being selling. So those are separate dates, right? They don't count the same. They have a separate release dates for those just because they're separate demand, separate tickets. Um,
Okay, so just so that I've got this clear, for
uh-huh.
the Genie, you pay $20 extra per person. Um, and then
Genie Plus.
for the Genie, oh, the Genie itself just helps you plan.
Yep.
The
Nothing. Yeah.
Genie Plus is like $20 per ticket, and then
Mhm.
that lightning thing for
Lane.
the one ride in the park varies.
Yeah.
Like,
And then you can
like 10 to
just pay
15.
if you, yeah, and then it's just for those rides. You don't need to have the Genie Plus to get that. If you just want to ride the Star Wars Wars, you don't need to get the Genie Plus. You just get the regular Genie and just pay the extra for just that specific ride.
Okay, so it would be a little bit cheaper then. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we got it, but there might be some more questions. But someone is asking, what if you make reservations, but you can't get in to that park because it's full that day?
No, if you make reservations, you do get it.
Okay, so you'll be counted in whatever that maximum
Yes,
number
yeah.
is.
What is not if you can not for the genie, like if you wanna on that day, you wanna buy make a reservation to do the seven dwarfs, but you didn't make a reservation to go to Magic Kingdom, and then you cannot do that. But if you make a reservation when you bought the tickets, you already picked those days that you're going to the park, they will not, yeah, you're already your spot's safe.
Okay. Think we're getting it. All right. Someone is asking, do you have to book the lightning lane first thing in the morning as well, or can you walk up uh, in line and pay on the spot for the lightning lane?
You can, but I doubt it will be available.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it would be good to book that ahead of time.
Yeah. So for example, when I did mine, uh, the average time that I'll get them will be to ride at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So because everything early in the day was already taken.
Okay, all right. And I know that it can vary based on the time of year, but
Right.
around ballpark, what's the cost of getting into the park, the parks themselves? So how much is a ticket these days? And especially this person is asking, like, is there a discount for seniors?
There is no discount for seniors. I know they do have a great discount for military, uh, but I think that's it. And then, of course, if you live in Florida, if you live in Florida, you're a Florida resident, and then you get a discount for that. I believe the ticket's about 150, 120, but the more days you stay, the cheaper it becomes. So if you're gonna stay for 7 days, end up being like $80 a day. So the more days you stay, the cheaper it goes a day.
Okay.
And one of the things about Disney that what's costly, it's because people are like, oh, we don't like to stay in the resort because it's more expensive. Well, the expensive part is the ticket, which is there's not so much way around it, the price of it. Uh, every place that you can get a discount, you gotta be really careful with it because you gotta make sure because there are so many people saying, once you fake tickets, they get there and then you're not allowed to get in. So just got to be really careful. So usually what I say, there's not that many discounts for tickets. Disney does not allow that. So if the ticket's too big, you should be a little careful with it.
Okay. Yeah. So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably
Yeah.
is. All right.
Yeah.
Someone else is asking, is the price hopper option still available? Can you still do multiple parks?
Yes, you can do after 2 p.m. So if you get the park hopper ticket, after 2 p.m. you can go to a second park.
Okay. And someone else is asking just another clarification question because
Mhm.
this is a little confusing.
I
If
know Genius.
if you stay on the property, um, is that more likely that you'll be able to get into the park of your choice? Is that one of the
No,
advantages of staying on property?
no, because the park you have to make the reservation when you buy the ticket. Doesn't matter if you're staying in a property or not. You buy the ticket, you make the reservation, and that's just no way around it. The advantage of staying property right now, since they took the airport transportation, which was my favorite thing. So, you get to the airport, you're there. It is the transportation to the park. So, for example, for us, for my nieces, because we did, 14 days. So there are some days they're tired. We will be able to just hop on the Skyliner, go back to the resort, stay there for 2 hours, and then go back to the park again. Uh, and then just be able to do that. And we're less than 20 minutes. So in 25 minutes, the most, we were at the back of the park. So that is nice. And if I was staying off property, I have to wait for the bus. And if it's Magic Kingdom, remember I have to take the boat to get to the parking lot, to get to the bus, or to get in my car, or to get an Uber. So that for me, that's one of the main things because I'll like to be able to go back and rest if I want to, or if I want to stay there. But I know I don't have to worry about transportation.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. It looks like we've answered most of the questions, but I just wanted to follow up on something that you said.
Mhm.
do they no longer offer transportation from the airport to those Disney resorts?
They don't. They stopped in the beginning of January this year. They had a contract with mayors, which you have to pay for it, but their mayors were not prepared to handle the flow, so they canceled that as well. You can book it, but you have to be on your own. So Disney is not getting involved there anymore. So my suggestion would be have a transportation set up beforehand. If you don't want to rent a car, because if you're such a staying property, you don't need to rent a car unless you want to do. I would say you go to the Florida, you go to the Disney. If you go to the Disney, you don't need a car because they have transportation everywhere. But I will hire a contractor or a car to take you to the resorts just because Uber at the airport the fee is so high. One of the times that we went, that we tried to stay in our property because I want to just see how it is staying off property, and then we took Uber. And up being when I got it, it's supposed to be I don't know $60. When the final bill came, was 100 and something, and we are really close. We are not that far away. It was just become some extra charge of this that I was looking. I can understand half of the charge there were, but be able to have a contract you already paid beforehand. The person will be ready for you there, and you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. So like you said, planning ahead.
Planning. Yep. Yep. Because you waste a lot of time planning before, but then when you get there, you just enjoy it. You don't have to worry. You have a reservations already for your restaurants. You know where you're eating. The only thing you do now is just the rides that you want to do, but you already have a list of rides that you prioritize. So wake up in the morning, that's the rides I want to get. So you already have all that. So once you get there, you just enjoy the day.
All right. All right. Well, it looks like that's all of our questions, although other things may come up. So just a reminder that I'll be sending out some follow-up links and resources in an email later tonight, including how to contact Marcela at Stressfree Travel. So thank you so much for all of your time and effort putting this together for us and answering our many questions, trying to figure out the changes that are going on. So again, oh, you know what? There's one last minute question here. Somebody says, if you hop to a different park after 2 o'clock, do you have to get a reservation at that park as well? Or if you have the
No,
park hopper, it'll let you do that?
I'll let you do that.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Last chance for questions, folks. All right. Again, we'll be sending out those resources in a follow-up email tonight. Thank you so much, Marcella. We really appreciate
You're
your
welcome.
time. And have fun at Disney, everybody. Good night.